Dear crafters, Mom joined the two ending sides together, and then she turned the mitten on the inside, so the single crochet row would go into the inside. But if you prefer that raised row of single crochet stitches on top of your mitten, then you can simply leave it as it is. Please notice now that this front post stitch part is large enough, so here is a trick you can follow if you want to keep your mitten look or be as large as it is. For the following part of the crocodile stitch, you can continue working with the same crochet hook, which was the 4.5 millimeter one, if you remember. However, I would very much like to tighten it a little because this is too large for me. So I'm going to use 4 millimeter crochet hook size to continue doing the crocodile stitch rows. Using the main thread of the skein of yarn, slip stitch in the following chain to space from one of the sides. And now let's make the foundation of the crocodile stitch. So chain 3, and then make a double crochet stitch in this same chain 2 space. I'm using the 4 millimeter crochet hook. Do not forget, if you want, you can continue using a bigger crochet hook if you want this part of the mitten to be large enough for your hand. Now skip the next row on the side, and in the following space make another set of 2 double crochet stitches. Once again, skip the following row, and then in the next space, let me see through touching if this is the right space. It is. It is. Based on these steps, please continue working around, skipping one row on this side, and then crocheting a set of 2 double crochet stitches in the following space on the side. At the end of this surrounding row, you should have 14 sets of 2 double crochet stitches each. I am at the end of the first foundation of the crocodile stitch, so I'll skip this last space and join with the beginning chain 3, executed at the beginning of this row with a slip stitch. And this is how my mitten decreased slightly on top of it. Now let's continue making the actual crocodile stitch. Chain 2, and then turn your item on one side, and then make 5 double crochet stitches along that that beginning chain 3 of the first set of double crochet stitches from the previous row. I do not wish to explain in detail how to crochet the crocodile stitch, because this is an old tutorial done many years ago. So if you want to learn how to crochet this stitch in detail, you can follow the link to that tutorial in the you'll find it in the description box below the video. After making these 5 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and turn your item on the other side and make 5 more double crochet stitches along the second double crochet stitch of that same set. I apologize if you are hearing some unexpected noises in our video. Well, that is our Yorkie, the dog, whose name is Moisey. He is huffing and puffing. Three, 4, and the 5th double crochet stitch. Now skip the following set of 2 double crochet stitches and make another crocodile stitch. Alright, dear crafters, the second double crocodile stitch is done. So now please continue making them around this side, following the same steps. Skip the following set of double crochet stitches, and in the next set do this crocodile stitch. At the end of the row you should have 7 double crochet stitches, 7 crocodile stitches. I apologize. I am at the end of my first row of crocodile stitches. The last crocodile stitch is done. So now you need to skip the last set of 2 double crochet stitches and join with the first crocodile. So insert your hook in that space between the chain 2 and the first double crochet stitch from the first crocodile stitch and slip stitch. For the second, and that is how you'll complete the first row. For the second row, please look at my first mitten. For the second row, you can continue working using this same crochet hook, either the 4.5 or the 4.1. However, I'd like to tighten my mitten even more around my fingers, which is why I'm going to switch to a smaller crochet hook, to a 3.5 millimeter one, and with this one I'm going to make the same row with slightly no difference, with absolutely no difference. But let me show you how to make the foundation of the crocodile stitch on this second row using my smaller hook. Chain 3, and then insert your hook between these the two double crochet stitches from the set from the previous row, and then what I did there. You need to make a double crochet stitch, but because my crochet hook is so small, and I base my work solely through touching, well, it is done. Now make a second set in the middle of the crocodile stitch from the previous row. And then continue making sets of two double crochet stitches in the middle of each set from the previous row, making sure you catch this space between the crocodile stitches as well. And once again in the middle of the next crocodile stitch. Continue following these steps up until the end of the row, and we shall meet once again there. Dear crafters, let's join the end of the row with the beginning of the row where I made those funny exclamation marks. So join with slip stitch with the beginning chain 3, and now let's make the same crocodile stitches. Chain 2, and then make 5 double crochet stitches along that beginning chain 3 from the first set of from the previous row. These crocodile stitches will look tiny, but it will help my mitten tighten up around my fingers. Now chain 1 and turn your work on the other side and make 5 more double crochet stitches across this second double crochet stitch from that same set. Now skip this next set of 2 double crochet stitches, which is on top of the previous crocodile stitch from the previous row, and then in the following set make another crocodile stitch, and so on up until the end of the row. You need to have 7 crocodile stitches on this row. Now let's finish off the second row of crocodile stitches around the fingers. Join the last crocodile stitch with the first one through a slip stitch right between that chain 2 and the first double crochet stitch from that first set of 5, and then using pair of scissors cut the yarn somewhere. I will. And then fasten off. Mine is slightly small. There is so this loose end and even the first the one at the beginning of the row. Now there is one last adjustment you need to make at the end of on the other side of the mitten, which is going around the wrist. This is where I'll make another set of another row of crocodile stitches, following the same steps as for the first row of crocodile stitches done around the fingers. So I'm going to use once again the 4mm crochet hook, and following the same steps. I'll only show you how to make it and not talk while making this row. Dear crafters, here is how my completed pair of mittens looks like. I absolutely adore them. I chose to make only one row of crocodile stitches at around my wrist. However, if you want to make them longer, you can continue making a second row, but I do not recommend to use a smaller crochet hook, just like I used here around the fingers. By the way, see, there is absolutely no difference between the two mittens. You have to make them alike, following the exact same steps. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. Hopefully these instructions will help you make many pairs of mittens. If you want to use this pattern to make items and sell them, feel free to do so. We do not mind if you reuse our pattern. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for another tutorial.